Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to another review. I am back to do another Star Wars review, that is. Another Star Wars movie. But before we get any further, please hit that like button and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. I would like for my channel to get to 300 subs, because if it get to 300 subs, I promise you guys I will have 2 reward videos. Because honestly, my subscriber count has kind of stopped. It's kind of stopped. Like, it's slowed down and stopped. It's been at 227 subs. Actually, 247 subs for quite some time now, and it hasn't gone up. So I'm not sure if YouTube's not promoting my videos or what. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I've noticed that my video, even my old videos have not really gained any more views. So I'm not sure what that's all about. So yeah. But if you guys know anybody who's interested in reviews, let them know, because the more subscribers I get, the better my channel will do. So that will really help out a lot. Anywho, let's get into the review. Also, I probably should note this. I'm going to note a few things. First, I'm going to be talking about the fact that I'm doing this outside again. Because the reason why I'm doing this outside is because I'm still trying to get back to my normal sleep schedule. And I've been having a lot of appointments and stuff in town. So I've had to leave my home and stuff and go into town. So I have not really had time to really watch the movie and review it inside. And I can't really review it tomorrow because I want to make some other videos for you guys tomorrow. So I can't be doing that and, this as well. So yeah, but I'm making this video right now because I'm making it right now and not tomorrow is because of that reason right there. So that's why. Also, I need to start pointing this out because I haven't done this since my SpongeBob review, my first SpongeBob review. Technically, it was my second review on my channel. The first one was a Family Guy episode called Customer of the Week. I need to state this, that the way this works, I know it's funny I'm doing this now, and I didn't do this at the beginning of these reviews of Star Wars, but I'm doing this now, because I remembered. The way these reviews work is, for you guys, people who do not know, is that, like, for the reviews to have goods, they will be, the score will be, like 70 to 120. That's the good part. The meh part is like 69 to 40. That's meh. And then bad is just anything lower than that. So that's technically the bad. And now the score itself is not really the score doesn't mean this is better than this or that. No, the score I give it a score on determining how many problems it has, because I thought about doing it the other way in the past, but that doesn't work very well because there's just because I feel like that's more complicated to compare it to another, movie or something, or episode, whatever I'm reviewing. So that's why I'm not doing it like that. So, yeah, without any further ado, I stated that, so now we can finally get into the video. And I won't be bringing that up every single time, but every time I try to do a new review, a set of reviews from studios or something, I'll be doing that. Anywho, let's get to the video this time. So the next Star Wars movie on the list is known as A New Hope. It's A New Hope, or otherwise known as Star Wars. It's just called Star Wars because back in the day it was just called Star Wars. Like if you get like old VHSs, it is known as Star Wars. Not it doesn't have a name. It's not titled. It's just Star Wars. So yeah, it's not called A New Hope. It's just Star Wars. But basically, though, is I got a funny story about that. With the whole movies on VHS. I actually found them at a retail shop. It was called like a flea market. I think it was it was a couple years ago. I think it was back in 2021, I believe. I found it there, and I gotta tell you guys that woman there was getting ready to give them to me, but then she looked them up on Google, and I knew I wasn't gonna get them. So she kept them because they were worth money, and yeah, they're actually worth quite a bit of money. If you guys go on eBay or something, they're not like a crap ton of money, but they're definitely worth a bit of money. If you guys go on eBay, you can find them, and they're worth something. That's because you know, especially with A New Hope in there, that's the original format. Like, it doesn't say A New Hope, it's just Star Wars. So it doesn't have a name. And that now, if you watch Star Wars, they got the opening and all that, and the cases, and it says A New Hope on it. So yeah. That's why it's kind of, you know, that's why it's interesting, because it doesn't even say episode 4, because back then there was no prequels. Now, I'm not sure if George Lucas had the prequels in mind when making this, or if he was just making these movies, like if he's just making these 3, because there's talk that he was wanting to make the prequels, but because of the limited technology back then, he couldn't do certain stuff. So the prequels got pushed aside until later on or something like that. I'm not really sure. I couldn't tell you, but that's just a theory of why. There's actually quite a bit of theories. I was looking it up on Google. There's quite a bit of theories on why George Lucas chose this order over the other one, but the only way you can figure that out is by asking the guy himself, but I don't know. I don't really know, but this is the way they did this first. They did this A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and in Return of the Jedi. That's how they did it first. And I gotta tell you guys, I have not seen these films in a long time. I told you guys that I have not seen these films since basically before Disney bought it. And I gotta tell you something. I didn't really care for these films too much. I didn't. I know, no, shocker, right? It's true. I didn't really care for these too much. I more watched the prequels. I preferred the prequels over the original trilogy. I didn't really care for these. Plus, there was Family Guy, Star Wars, and then we had Robot Chicken and stuff I thought were much better. But I feel like that's not really fair to judge it. And now that I'm looking back at this, I'm like, why did I even think that? This film is actually amazing. It is amazing. This film is actually really good. Is it as good as the prequels? I don't really know. That depends on who you talk to, honestly, because I think although I do like the story here, I don't think I'm attached to the characters as much as the prequels, but that's just my opinion. But well, except Luke Skywalker. I'm attached to Luke Skywalker. I love Luke Skywalker. Well, Luke Skywalker and Ben Kenobi, but Ben Kenobi's also in the prequels too. But I do really like their duo in this, but they're not really a duo. I like their relationship in this movie. It's really good. Like, Ben is basically talking about the Clone Wars and all that, how Luke's father was a Jedi and trained in the Clone Wars and all that, and he basically Darth Vader destroyed him and all that, and it's pretty good. I really like that, and I like how he's slowly training him to become this Jedi Master, and I really like that, and it's really good. Like, I really like that a lot. We also get to see, I guess, Luke's aunt and uncle and all that. We actually get a scene similar to kind of what happened to Anakin's mom with Luke Skywalker with the aunt and uncle, where like they were murdered by people and all that, and instead of Luke going on a rage like Anakin did, He did not. He was frustrated, but he kept himself calm. Anakin just flat out just murdered the Sand People for killing his mom. Now I think they said the stormtroopers actually killed Luke's aunt and uncle, I think. I'm really not sure. That's the thing I don't really get. I'm not really sure why they killed them. I'm not really sure, but they did. Because the way the stormtroopers work is they're ordered by Darth Vader because they're brainwashed clone troopers. They're ordered by Darth Vader to follow his commands, and they don't seem to be attacking everyone, because there's scenes later where they're in a bar and they're not attacking anybody in the bar, so they seem to be only going after targets. But it doesn't really explain why they went after Luke's aunt and uncle. I think they were probably going to go, they were probably trying to kill Luke too, but Luke wasn't there. So I'm really not sure why they went after Luke and Luke's aunt and uncle. I really don't get that. That doesn't really make much sense, but I do like that, and I do like how they it shows him feeling emotion. They're trying to show that he's going through emotions like Anakin is, but he's not blinded by obsession with trying to prevent stuff from happening like Anakin was. So he's actually he's dealing with similar stuff as Anakin is, but he's not turning to the dark side, and I like that. I like that touch. Now technically they did this first, but that's kind of where the prequels kind of come in, because Anakin lost his mother and he killed the Sand People, and she died kind of a similar way. She didn't burn alive like Luke's aunt and uncle did, but she did she did die, and it frustrated Anakin like it did with Luke. But between Luke and Anakin, Luke actually kept it calm, and yeah, he was frustrated, but he didn't go on a rage, and I really like that. It's really good. I do like that a lot. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then we get we get some nice scenes where we get some nice scenes where we have them meet Han Solo and all that. Han Solo at first refuses to take them off with him because he's basically wanting money, and he gets the money. He does get paid, but the fact that he wants money from Luke and he's bribing him and Obi-Wan for money is something, But Han is kind of like a bounty hunter. He's kind of like a bounty hunter, though, is what he is. He's he doesn't go around hunting people and all that like bounty hunters do, but he does want money from people like bounty hunters do. So the fact that he was trying to force them to pay him and all that, I mean, is kind of something there. But they end up escaping, and they end up escaping, and we get a moment where we see Leia captured by Darth Vader and all that, and her planet Alderaan gets blown up, which is very sad. I mean, so many people have so many people have died there, and all that. But apparently Obi-Wan can sense it too. Obi-Wan can sense the death of all those people, which is sad. The fact that you can sense it and all that, I mean, it's sad enough when you know it happens, but it's even more sad when you can actually feel the pain and stuff and fear for all the people who lost their lives or are getting ready to. It's really sad. Technically, they already died when Obi-Wan, sensed that, but the fact that he was able to sense their fear is definitely pretty upsetting to think about. Because, I mean, all those people lost their lives. So, yeah. And the fact that he can sense it is something else. But they end up going to the Death Star because they get pulled in, and they end up disguising themselves as stormtroopers, and then I guess at first we have Han Solo not wanting to help the princess that wants her to die, and then he decides to help her, which that kind of makes Han kind of an asshole, honestly. Han was already an asshole, but I think they kind of went a little too far there with this character. I mean, they kind of made him want to want the princess to die and all that. So that's kind of sad, honestly. And then like they basically save her, and then they get thrown in a trash can with some monster. I'm not sure why this monster is in the trash, but this monster's like freaking in the trash and pulls Luke under and all that. I'm really not sure. Like, I don't even remember that in the movie. Like, but yeah, apparently there's a monster in there that pulls him in there. And I'm not really sure why there's a monster out of nowhere in a trash chute like in the Death Star. I really don't get that, but it's just kind of random. But yeah, there's just a monster hanging out, I guess, in a trash can. It looks like Oscar the Grouch isn't the only one who's gonna be in the trash, I guess. But yeah, the monster just disappears. Like, the monster disappears, and there's like no trace of what happened to it. It just disappears. Like, it pulls Luke under. Luke comes out, and then, like, did Luke kill the monster, or did he escape from it? I'm really not sure, because I didn't hear any lightsaber battles going underneath the water, or guns. So I'm not really sure, like, what happened there, but the monster just disappears. Like, he disappears and we never see him again in the movie, so I don't get that. I think they could have probably just left that out of the movie, to be honest. It doesn't really make any sense. But they end up rescuing, Princess Leia. They get out of the trash thanks to C-3PO, and then they go to leave the planet. We get some cool scenes where they're like shooting the stormtroopers and stuff, which is pretty cool. Then Obi-Wan and Darth Vader have a duel. And I gotta say, this lightsaber battle is probably the weakest one. I'm not gonna lie, it is probably the weakest one, which is sad because this is technically supposed to be the first movie that came out. But yeah, the lightsaber battle is definitely kind of weak. It's weak. It's weak. Like, it's not very good. They basically just tap swords and stuff. And people want to say that Palpatine's lightsaber battle was stupid. At least they were able to speed up footage and stuff and make it look more entertaining. But due to the technology back then, they couldn't do that. So, unfortunately, they basically just hit swords and stuff, like, very slowly and boring, and basically Obi-Wan just kills himself. I guess uses the Force and kills himself by having Darth Vader kill him, and then they basically leave. So yeah, that scene was kind of. I mean, I kind of wish the lightsaber battle was a bit better and all that, and yeah, it wasn't very good. It was very slow and didn't feel very good and all that. But I kind of knew about the lightsaber battle, to be honest, because I've seen that part of the movie. I've seen all the lightsaber battles, actually, except the sequels. I didn't really see them, but I've seen the lightsaber battles in the, I've seen the lightsaber battles basically in the in the the original trilogy and the prequels. And the original trilogy, the lightsaber battles actually do get better. They get better. But this one right here is not very good. It's definitely not very good, and I feel like they could have made it a lot better, but I don't really know. But I don't know. But basically though, they do escape it. They bring the Death Star plans to the rebels, and they go blow up the Death Star basically. Yeah, I didn't mention that the plans were in the R2D2 unit. The R2D2 unit, so yeah, yeah, so basically though, it's kind of, just kind of, like, it's kind of a good place to hide it, where people where the Siths and stuff won't, and other bad guys won't find it, and all that. So yeah, but we get some scenes where like they're blowing up the Death Star, and I gotta say this is kind of this is kind of a scene that kind of went on, I think, a little too long in my opinion. It went on a little too long. Basically, they're showing like the same scene, I feel like, over and over again. I feel like it kind of goes on a little too long at times. Like it does. It just goes on for a long time, and I don't mind if they repeat the same scene a few times, but they repeat it like a lot, where Darth Vader is just blowing up ships and stuff, and it doesn't feel very entertaining. It just feels it feels like it's just forced in there and to make the runtime longer, and it doesn't work very well with that. But we do get a scene where Obi-Wan is talking to Luke as a ghost. And but yeah, we get that, and then basically, he blows. Thanks to Han Solo. Han Solo came back and saved the day, and basically, Luke blew up the Death Star, and everyone was saved. They got rewards and everything was saved. So yeah, that's basically Star Wars: A New Hope. So overall, though, the film for being in the 70s, it sure still feels really good. It doesn't feel like a lot of stuff's outdated there. It feels very well, like it's ahead of its time. Now, I think this film, in my opinion, is a little over-liked, in my opinion. I think it's just because Star Wars was a big thing back then. Because back then there wasn't really a lot of space stuff, so Star Wars was kind of, something in space. So it was something where they went in space and all that, which was cool. But I think it's still pretty cool and all that, and I do like the moments where, like, with Obi-Wan and Luke and stuff. I think it's really good, and although I think Han Solo is kind of an asshole, I don't think besides the Princess Leia scene where he doesn't want to help her and wants her to die, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but he just doesn't want to help her because he's a dick, I guess. I think it works out pretty well. I think like I said in my Solo review, that I did not know, like, what to think about this because I haven't seen these movies in years, but I can say that I think it works here too. I still think I like him in Solo not being a dick, but it makes him kind of feel out of character, but they don't make him where he's cringe as hell and all that, because sometimes they make characters in movies very cringe, like they ruin their characters and make them very cringed. We're gonna be getting to that in the sequel trilogy. Now I can't tell you guys if I despise it or not because I have to see him again. But what I've heard, like what they did to Luke and stuff, what I heard, it's pretty bad. So I don't really know what to say there. I don't know what to say. Basically, though, it's just kind of, something we'll have to wait and see what it's like. But overall, this film is pretty good, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this film 120 points and a good. Now, this film is barely getting 120 points because there are problems with it, but I think the story is very simple but very good. Like, it's very good. It's definitely not my favorite Star Wars movie, in my opinion. It's not my favorite. I still think Revenge of the Sith and all that's better, but actually, I don't know if Revenge of the Sith's better, but I do know, like, I like the Phantom Menace and stuff, but I still think, you know, this film here is pretty good. And I know I said that prequels, some of the prequel movies are better than this, but let me say real quick that this is the first of the 3 movies here, and this one is not really considered the best. It's good, but it's not the best. The Empire Strikes Back is the one that's supposed to be the best, but you know, and also when it comes to the prequels, me liking them more, I did say that they do have. I didn't say this, but they do have a lot of problems, more problems than this movie. But I think that they do some stuff better, like with the lightsaber battles and stuff. But overall, though, I think this film does a pretty good job here, and I do really like this film. I do really like it a lot, and yeah, so, also there's a fun fact I should have pointed out here earlier, but I'll point it out now, that this movie, now this is not, I'm not sure, 100% sure on this one. I heard some people mention it, but I'm not sure if this is true or not, but there's talk that this movie was originally going to be much different. Like, they were going to leave Obi-Wan alive and all that, but they didn't leave Obi-Wan alive, and they fixed the script. I guess George Lucas's wife had him fix it or something because it was all messed up or something. I heard people say that the other script was pretty cringed, but I don't know. But that's the case. I'm glad they chose this one because this is would have been a much better movie than what I've heard. Well, I kind of forgotten what they said, but I heard it was not very good, and people like this film, so I better watch something I hear people like than, you know, not like. But, yeah, so, another thing I wanted to point out, too, that this film was also released in May 25th, 1977 in the US. But in the UK, it was released in December 25th, 1977. So basically, this film was released several months later, like, in the UK. So the UK sadly had to wait longer for this movie to come out. But the fact that you know that we got it first is pretty interesting. I mean, technically, George Lucas is in America, so we kind of got it first, but it probably took longer for UK to get it because technically George Lucas. Here's the thing with George Lucas, he never really liked working for Hollywood. In fact, when he was giving the movies over to Disney, he was kind of questioning if he should do it or not. So it was a very hard decision for him. So, yeah, when he sold it, yeah, it was very hard. I mean, it'd be a hard decision for me to just sell my work, but I probably wouldn't sell it, honestly. I probably would just keep it. And once I die, I just die. But, you know, personally, I wouldn't want to die, but, you know, a lot of people I hear want to go to heaven, but I kind of rather stay on Earth and, you know, help the ones in need, you know. Kind of be a helpful person, you know, but because personally, in my opinion, I believe you just become ghosts when you die, but that's my opinion. But yeah, I'm getting off topic here, so, but yeah. I probably need to go ahead and let this go, though. I'll probably upload this video tomorrow because it's getting kind of late, and I'm probably going to get ready for bed. Because I want to watch this and make sure it turned out okay. But overall, though, for this being the first film, this film is pretty good. I really like it. But I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and let things go from here. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.